Brought to you by patreon.com/inspireddisorder and inspireddisorder.com/prime.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
The Umbrella Academy Netflix series season 2 just dropped recently. A show that I tried to get into after season 1 started, but it was tough. I could not do it. Sometimes getting into comic book anything is a little difficult with so many comic book everything out in the world. But it's one that I heard good things after season 2 dropping. I figured I might as well power through and try and get through it, try and enjoy it, and see what everybody else is enjoying. And it did. It took about 3 or 4 episodes of season 1 before it really starts to pick up. It's just a lot of setup. No idea what's going on. I don't know why all of these kids, all these kids are born on the same day, and a lot of them have special abilities. And out of 42 kids, only seven of them were found and adopted by this rich guy who becomes like their leader, like their X-Men leader guy. And really not a good dude. Really not a good dude. Very much, this movie is like a dark X-Men, kind of. Like if X-Men was a bunch of people who didn't know how to use their powers very well, and then their leader was just like the worst kind of toxic father figure that anybody could have. That's what this show is. So it took a few episodes for it to get going, but the end of season 1 was just great. The end of the season, it was a slow burn for the first few episodes, and then it really took off. Once they kind of reveal what the idea is, that they have to try and end the apocalypse, and there's just a bunch of characters doing their old thing. There's like one of the kids who can teleport, can also teleport to different times in history, so he can time travel. And he, while being a kid, he gets like impatient and wants to learn how to time travel, and kind of gets himself into a position where he time travels to just after the apocalypse, and he's stuck out there for, what did they say? I think he's like 50 something by the time he comes back, but he comes back in the child body. So it's interesting. Then there's this like giant muscular dude that is just a big muscular strong guy. Then you have the Latino brother who is really good with knives, like he can control knives in midair. Then you have the movie star who can convince anybody to do anything by saying that she heard a rumor. Very interesting kind of superpowers. They are very bad. So the idea is that these kids, the father dies, and these kids kind of all come back together to reunite because over time they'd split up. The dad sent the big hulking guy to the moon for some reason. And then the kid, 7, who is the very average superhero that doesn't have any superpowers, is playing like a violin now. She's a professional violinist. So everybody kind of comes back at this reunion kind of a deal to initially was thought to maybe solve the murder of their father, but later to get together, the father engineered it for them to get together to save the world from the apocalypse, which the boy, the 52-year-old boy, comes back to try and kind of be the leader of the group to try and find out who or how the apocalypse happens. So once everything kind of falls into place, you start seeing the wheels in motion. It starts to pick up speed. And while all this is happening, there's this organization that is in charge of keeping timelines in check so that people who have the ability to travel in time don't, let's say, go back and kill Hitler or save JFK from being assassinated. like people going back in time trying to fuck with timelines. This organization is there to keep the timelines in check. So you see two hitmen kind of that are sent back to kill the boy because the apocalypse is supposed to happen. And the boy is trying to investigate and stop the apocalypse from happening along with all of his brothers and sisters. So it's a fun thing. It actually is very similar in a lot of ways. I recently watched the Bill and Ted franchise, new Bill and Ted movies out, and there's a lot of similarities between the kind of future version of Bill and Ted where they send Rufus back in time because Bill and Ted have to create this song that unites the world to stop from humanity from existing, to save existence as we know it. And it's a very similar thing where it's this organization in the future that sends people back in time to make sure the timelines stay. It also reminded me a lot of like Quantum Leap, like they have to solve this problem in order to get to the next thing. But yeah, it's just super interesting. Seven has a great arc, played by what's her face, Ellen Page. She's just like very much the normal average person who, during the course of season 1, discovers that she had powers this whole time, and for some reason she forgot. I think she also has memory issues because the beginning of season 2, she doesn't remember that she has superpowers, but she did have powers that were powerful, and you got to see the insane darkness, the insanity of what is the father of this group, and how he treated her and locked her away in like a soundproof booth because she has to like her powers are tied to her focusing on a sound, which is interesting because she plays the violin, so she has an instrument to make sound, but she can kind of get sound from anywhere. Like in the kind of first battle that she's in, or first fight she's in, where she understands she has the power. Her boyfriend's getting beaten up, and the car exhaust in the parking lot that this attack is happening is the sound that she focused in. And when she's out training, she focuses on the sound of the creek. But there's a scene where she's in this soundproof room, and here's the thing. A soundproof room doesn't make it so you can't hear anything. It just eliminates sound from getting in, and it eliminates sound from getting out, and allows sound to not echo. So it absorbs all the sound. But it doesn't mean that she can't hear. It doesn't mean that she couldn't just hum a tune and she wouldn't hear the tune that she's humming. But in the scene where she breaks out, she hears her heartbeat, and she focuses on that, and then does her super pow pow. So it was fun. And then in the second season, they all kind of in an attempt to escape, they end up kind of getting spread out in the past, same area but in Texas. But they get spread out to different times. I forget what the kind of the breakup, if it's a year or if it's weeks or months or whatever. But they all kind of get dropped off at different times in the same place, and then eventually get together. But it's a more interesting kind of a time for the group to get together. And once again, season 2 opens amazing because it's like you get to see this group of people who clearly know how to use their powers. Like the brother that knows, like the constantly fucking up brother who can speak to dead people, but is constantly taking drugs and alcohol to kind of block out all of the dead people that are around him. Except for a brother that died, he's able to communicate with his brother. But like he now has like armies of dead people that he can control. Like everybody you get to see at the beginning of season 2, like. Everybody kind of understanding and being able to use their powers finally. Like they're more of a cohesive group of people that are trying to keep Russia from invading because somebody fucked up a timeline somewhere, and instead of the Cold War staying cold, it ended up getting pretty hot and Russia invading us. But then, of course, the kid goes back in time, and again, it's set up. The season 2 is very similar to season 1 in that they have to stop another apocalypse from happening. And it's really interesting. It takes place during like the civil rights movement, so there's like other things that are part of it. It's just overall, I really enjoyed season 2. Much easier to watch season 2 once all the characters were set up. Season 1's good. It's just a really tough show to get into for me. But I'm happy with the show. I really enjoyed the end of season 1. All of season 2 was great. And I'm very interested to see what happens in a season 3. I hope there's a season 3. But overall, I really enjoyed the Umbrella Academy. Just kind of a dark X-Men with like dysfunctional people. It's like a more realistic, more reality-based superhero movie, if that's even a thing. But yeah, check it out on Netflix. If you want to help support the podcast, go over to patreon.com/inspireddisorder and become a patron for only $3 a month. Some of the benefits include binging the full week of The Ray Taylor Show without any ads. You can also get a coupon code to save a ton of money when you buy my original artwork, The Many Faces. New artwork, new painting comes out every day. And you also get to download the raw Photoshop files for all the Photoshops I do. So head on over to patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Sign up for $3 a month. Get all those benefits and more. Sign up now, patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Also, get the many benefits of Amazon Prime for 30 days, all for free when you go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Prime. Of course, you get all the Prime movies and TV shows to instantly stream on all your devices. Stream music through all your devices, borrow Kindle books, and you get the free unlimited 2-day shipping, as always, when you're a Prime member. So go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Prime, and get your 30 days free of Amazon Prime right now. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Purchase Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!